We've got Martin Murray in the studio. Pleasure to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
For those who don't know Martin, he's a middleweight boxer from St Helens, 26 fights, 25 wins, no losses, 1 draw, which was a little bit controversial prior to turning professional. Martin was a successful amateur boxer, winning the ABA welterweight title in 2004. On the 27th of April next month, he's fighting in the biggest fight of the year against WBC world title champion and boxing legend Sergio Martinez, which will be live on Box Nation. So Martin, great to have you here, and we're gonna go through. We're going to go through from the start of your career, really, a little bit later on. But how's preparations going for the Martinez fight?
Yeah, everything's gone well. Before I start, what a great tune to start the show.
Oh, cheers! you kind of laugh when it come on. But
if I told you I wasn't fed up of listening to that, I'd be telling lies. But yeah, it's a great tune. Yeah, preparations are going really well. You know, we've known about this fight for a long time. And it seems like we've been training for a long time, but it's slowly, almost slowly getting in. It's creeping up on us now.
So how long generally is the training camp?
Well, we started first week of January, which that takes us to about 8 weeks now, and then the fight's 7 weeks on Saturday. So it's going to be a long training camp, 15 weeks all in all. But preparations and everything's going really well. The sparring and things are getting stepped up now. The training's getting harder. The diet's kicking in, which always makes it that bit harder as well. But yeah, I mean, I can't complain. Everything's going well.
Well, you just kind of answered one of the questions, but not fully. So I'll still ask you now. Leading up to a fight, obviously your diet and your training changes. How much does that change to what you would do usually? So usual Martin Murray before he's got a fight on.
Yeah.
I don't know how many weeks you get of that, and then leading up to a big fight, Martin Murray. How does the diet and changing and training change?
I'm Jekyll and Hyde when my diet kicks in. I'm just completely changing person. I'm a lot more angrier. But that's just the diet kicking in.
Not angry now though. We got the bodyguards in behind you.
No, but everything's all right now. But every boxer I've spoke to, they've said when the diet's hard, the narky, and it just seems to be be the way it is. But yeah, I mean, when I'm starting a camp, I've obviously got a bit more weight on me, so it's I can still eat what I want to eat, but as the weeks go on and the fight gets closer, I've got to start cutting certain things on, and a lot of it, any boxer's preparations is, a lot of it's focused on his diet.
Yeah, of course, and I will get pretty angry myself if I had to diet. Quite like my food. We're going to go back to the Martinez fight a little bit later on. Why we've got you in the studio for an hour, we're not going to get many opportunities to have you here, so we're going to go right back to the start of your career, if we could, and what got you into boxing, what started you into boxing? Talking to you outside, it sounded like you was into it from a pretty early age.
Yeah, I've always been into boxing. I first went to the gym at 7, started properly at 10, but even before that, from being 3 and 4 years of age, I've always had a pair of boxing gloves, so I suppose you could kind of say it was in me to be a fighter. But I got into it first when I first went down at 7. Me grandfather, my father, Buller Greenhalgh, as he's known, he was the secretary for the boxing club in Sydney.
He was called what, sorry?
Buller Greenhalgh.
Buller Greenhalgh?
Yeah, what a name. Yeah, but he was secretary at the club and he first took me down. And I just used to go down the odd night, but then when I got to 10, my best mate at the time was doing it. And I just went along with him, and he even before that, like it was just a place where he always went. There was my old coach who's since sadly died, John Chisnall. He was very passionate about getting young kids in the finger post area into boxing. He used to come and pick us up in his van and take us to the gym, and he was just, I'd say mainly a lot of it was down to John.
Superb. So where was your first gym? Is it the gym that you mentioned outside before we come in? Was that the first gym?
No, before that, it was on Knowsley Road. It was at the old judo club on Knowsley Road.
Okay, can you remember your first amateur fight?
Yeah, my first amateur fight was on, I got asked about this the other day actually. It was on Bonfire Night in '93.
Right.
And it was 11.
11,
Yeah, just turned 11, and I was fighting a lad from Wintford in Northwich.
And how did that go? Did you win your first?
Yeah, I won. Yeah, I ended up fighting him 4 times and beating him 4 times. So I think, I think he ended up hurting me.
So we kind of got sick of you in the
Yeah, I
end.
think so. Yeah, I got sick of seeing him as well.
You won the ABA title in 2004. How old you been when you won the ABAs?
When 2004.
Yeah.
22. No, I think it was 21. I was.
You
No, I wasn't. There were too many punches there. My math is coming. 82. Yeah.
22.
Yeah, but
yeah, my maths is worse than yours, so between us.
No, it was just before me. It was before my birthday, so it was. I was 21.
Oh, 21. For anybody who doesn't know about the ABAs, it's like the best.
It's just the main amateur competition in England. It's for open class fighters, and it's just if a club's got a lad who they think's good enough to go on and compete at the highest level before fighting for England, then they put him in the ABAs, and basically you're all weighing your gym clubs in your area, and then you fight off who's the best between yourselves, and then from then you go fighting to the Northwest against London, so then you fight the number 1 in London because he's fought through his area, and then the winner of that goes and fights to another different area till you get to the final, and you
so
fight.
It's a long drawn out tournament.
Yeah, it can be. I think I ended up fighting 6 times in it, but you get some fighters depending on weight classes where they can fight like 4 and 5 times before they've even left the area.
Right.
So it's it's busy, but it's all good. It's all learning experience.
And we've had a few decent ABA champions. I think from St Helens. I haven't researched this.
Yeah, we have. John Lyon.
Yeah.
He was. He's a very good friend of mine. He was an old coach as well. I finished off my career with John Lyon at Wigan ABC. John Lyon, still to this day, holds a record of the most ABA titles ever won in anywhere.
And that was how many?
8, I think. 8 and 9. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I think it was 8.
That's a pretty incredible thing.
Yeah, it was.
John pretty good.
Yeah. Well, that's when you compare what I did to John, then what I did not so good. But yeah, John won 8 and 9, and John was a great fighter. But I think the Gill bodies as well. I'm sure they won a couple. George and Ray Gill body.
So how many amateur clubs have you been in? Did you go from amateur club to amateur club?
No, what I did, I stayed in one with my first trainer and mentor John Chisnall. And then when he died in 2005, I just thought it was time for a change, and then I went back. I went to the person who I thought was the most knowledgeable, who I know is the most knowledgeable in boxing in St Helens, and that was John Lyon. But he had a gym in Wigan, so it was just about travelling to Wigan, and I finished my career off there. I think I had about 5 or 6 fights with John, and then I turned professional.
So I didn't look at your amateur record. How was it? Was it good, bad? It must have been half decent.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. If I'm honest with you, it wasn't that special. I didn't reach my potential as an amateur, and I forget how many fights he had. But I was lucky enough to win the ABAs and fight for England. But I think if I'd dedicated a bit more, I got to that age, 18, 19, I just went off the rails. And if I dedicated a bit more, I think I'd have achieved a lot more in my amateur career, but I'm doing my best now for making up for it in professional.
Yeah, you're not doing too bad now. You picked this next song. I'm going to play a little bit of music. It was one that you wanted to play. It's John Denver and his song. It's you could tell us about.
Yeah, this is for all the St Helens fans out there, and especially for my mate David Garvey who's listening.
We're going to play for you now. This is John Denver and Annie's song. this, Martin. I think he likes it. Just said as I was going on, set that up, we'll get Martin for doing one of them in the other room. So, if we do a little bit, you're listening to WA12 Radio Rock On.
Rock on.
Right, we've talked about it, I can't believe how fast it's gone, we're 18 minutes past already. We've talked about your amateur career, so we're going to move on to your professional career and just find out how you started and why you turned professional. What made you go from being amateur to turn professional? Just the money, or what made you think?
If I'm honest, well, I was at a stage in my life where I wasn't doing anything good, and I needed a change in my life, and I wasn't boxing. I'd stopped boxing. I'd not boxed for a few years, and it was just going back to what I knew best, which was boxing. And I'd always said I wanted to go professional. I didn't want to get to a certain age and think, what if, or I should have done that. And
yeah, did you know back then that you could achieve something decent in boxing?
If I'm honest with you, no. You can only have a dream of fighting for world titles in different countries and fighting for, one of the pound for pound best and the best middleweight on the planet. And obviously that was where I'd want to, but there's that many different politics in boxing and things that just stop you from getting where you want to go. And it's just about whether it was good enough as well. It was just about starting out as a professional, dedicating 100% to it, which I have done and I always will do. And just the more work I put in and the harder the train, just things just seem to come together. So it's it's one of them. If I didn't have the team around me as well that I've got, I'm very lucky to have the team I've got. I've got a great trainer, manager, my support's unbelievable. A strength and conditioner, physio, and I've got just a great team around me now, and together we're slowly getting there.
So when you started off, you didn't expect to be at the level you're fighting at now. You didn't expect to be your next fight's in front of 50,000 people. You went into your first fight. Your first fight was in Wigan, I believe. Was it Robin Park?
Yeah, Robin Park. Yeah.
Holds a few. It
does, yeah. And I fought there a few times, and I love fighting there. It was there's something special about when you fight local. I know I'm from St Helens, but Wigan was local enough. I've got great support in Wigan as well, and Wigan was local enough for all my friends and family travel over there, and he's pulling some great numbers there, coming over watching me fight in Wigan. He had some great fights there.
So how many does it hold at Robin Park? About 2,000, something like that?
I think so, yeah.
So from 2,000 to 50,000 in a month's time. It's not been a bad journey so far. I've tried to look and research St Helens boxers. I kind of know a bit about boxing anyway, follow it pretty well. But we looked, be honest, we googled, see if we could find it, because we didn't want to say there was none. But there's been no world champions from St Helens. Gary Stretch fought for a world title, lost. No modern world champions from St Helens. You could be the first in a month's time.
Yeah.
The first world champion from St Helens.
It'd be great and be a dream come true if I could go over there and create a bit of history. So
you could be an inspiration now for a lot of kids. Who was your inspiration when you took up boxing?
Yeah, hopefully. I mean that's the plan anyway. I'm a qualified youth worker, and I like working with.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like working with young kids anyway. So that's always the plan, and that's what I want to do. I want to inspire young kids, and if I've got the chance, well, I have got the chance now to inspire younger the younger generation to go on and not just achieve anything in boxing, but just achieve things in life. Then it's a great feeling.
Well, back then, who was your inspiration when you started off? Who was it that you looked up to and said, I want to be like that?
It was my greatest fight. One of my top fighters coming up was Nigel Benn.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, Nigel Benn was a great fighter. Just used to love his excitement, and I've since met him, and he's a proper top bloke. But Chavez as well. Chavez was a favourite of mine. Don't know if many people would have heard of Chavez.
You like the fighters rather than the showman boxers.
Yeah. It's all about your boxing, it's all about the action. And
yeah, when I was growing up, I was like a massive Prince Nassim.
I was, yeah. I was myself. Though I used to love watching Ahmed with his ring entrances.
Yeah, I used to walk around in nothing but Adidas tracksuits.
Yeah.
I realised his entrances and stuff. We was talking about entrances. You just like getting down there and getting straight in.
Yeah. That's me. I'm just focused on getting in the ring, and that's all I want to do. When you come to fighting and you're waiting to go in the ring, you train for months on end for that, just for that one moment in that ring. So I'm just one of them. I'm just focused on just getting in there and getting the job done.
So it doesn't matter if you was fighting at the local club here or in front of 50,000 people. Well, it's the same thing.
Well, it is, yeah. I mean, it might sound stupid, but that's how I look at it, and this is why I know it's not going to affect me being over there fighting in Argentina in front of, you know, a football stadium, 50,000, and I think there's going to be, I think it holds 52,000. I think 51,950 are going to be Argentinians. So
yeah,
it's going to be very hostile. But like I said, I'm just focused on getting in that ring. So it's not going to affect me in any way.
Right, so when you turned pro, a year after turning pro, you decided to go in the prize fighter tournament.
Yeah.
You won the prize fighter tournament. What got you involved in that, and why did you think that was like a good move? Because
it was definitely a good move. Because when I'd turned professional, because I'd not been fighting for a couple of years, I didn't have anything going into certain promoters where I could say, well, I said to him I won the ABAs in 2004, but it was like, what have you been doing for a couple of years? So I ended up going with a small old promoter who didn't have any television. So, and boxing is all about being seen on telly. You know, you get more known to the public, and you get bigger audiences. And Prize Fighter gave us the chance to get seen by a bigger audience. You know,
it was your first big TV break, really.
Yeah, it was, and that's why we went in it. It was just to get more known, and just get bigger fights off the back of it, and you know, it did its job.
Yeah, so it kind of propelled you to everyone. Everyone knew who you was after that, and it's done good things. So off the back of that, you fought. Who was your next fight after the Prize Fighter? Can you remember?
What I did then, I went back on doing a couple of 6-rounders, and a couple of 6 or 8 rounders, because I'd only ever done 6 rounds once before I went in the Prize Fighter, so I didn't want to then jump into 12-round fights, because we always said that if I took the right steps at the right time, guided up there correctly, then when I got to the top I'd stay there. So we went back to building the blocks and building the foundations on 6 and 8 rounders. And that's what we did. We had some good learning fights, fought some good tough Eastern Europeans, and then we got the Commonwealth title fight.
Fantastic. Well, we're going to play some more music. We've picked out another song, kind of together, more you than me. We was looking at boxing songs, and we've gone for this one, which is Bob Dylan and the Hurricane. Did you say it was out of a film? This?
It's
Hurricane.
Yeah, it's off the
Hurricane film.
It's off the Raging Bull, isn't it? Is this the one?
Which one?
Hurricane.
No.
Bob Dylan.
That was a different one. Bob Dylan's a film Hurricane.
Yeah, Reuben Carter. Called it Reuben the Hurricane Carter. Yeah, so it's this is off another boxing film.
We've talked a bit about your amateur career, a little bit about your pro career, so we're going to move on to your last world title fight, if that's okay.
Yeah.
We're going to talk a little bit about Felix Sturm, who you fought in 2011 in Germany. A fantastic display that many thought, me included, you'd won it, only for the fight to be given a draw. First of all, what did you think of the decision at the time, straight after the fight?
We knew we weren't gonna we weren't gonna get the win. We was in the ring, and I was speaking to Oliver, and we knew it was a bit too close to call. We'd both had words with each other beforehand, and we I'd said that if I was going to go over there and beat him, I've got to go over and stop him or beat him a lot more convincingly than I did. You know, and the fight was a close fight, and you know when the fight finished, we knew that we weren't gonna get the win, and you know we got the draw, which kind of like put us in no man's land really, because we struggled getting fights after that, because we established ourselves on the world stage by putting the performance in that we did. So we couldn't get fights off the back of that because we didn't have a belt or didn't have anything. So it was like who needs to fight me basically, you know what I mean? So it's we went through a couple of months after the Stern fight struggling for fights, but you know, from that performance ultimately as good as this fight with Martinez.
Was there any opportunities to fight Felix Stern in a rematch? Was there anything like that?
We pushed for that like you wouldn't believe. We was on the case constantly. I went over Germany when he fought Daniel Gill when he got beat, and we spoke to his agent beforehand, and he basically told us there wasn't going to be a rematch. So yeah, we tried our best to get that rematch, and it just you know, it just never happened. He didn't want to know.
And that was all from their side, yeah.
From their side, yeah. I mean, looking back, we should have. There was a rematch in the contract that we had, but that was only on a loss. We was under the impression that had the fight been close, or definitely if it was a draw and a loss, that he'd give us a rematch. But like I said, he didn't want to know.
Right, so that was over in Germany, which we a lot of us, definitely from this side, maybe based on your side, I thought that was like a bit of an unfair decision. We definitely thought you won that. You go into Argentina next. I've not really watched many fights in Argentina. Do you expect to get a fair decision over there?
I'm in exactly the same boat. I'm fighting Martinez, and he's, you know, in an homecoming fight that he's having. He's not fought in Argentina for 10 years, and he's like a mega star over there. I went over there before Christmas, promoting the fight, and you know, seen it firsthand exactly how big he is over there. So I'm in the same boat again. And I'm going to have to go over there and beat him convincingly every round, or you know, 8 or 10 rounds out the fight, or stopping him. But we know that it's something that I'm capable of doing.
Of course, you wouldn't be travelling out all them miles if it wasn't something that you thought you could do. Back to the British boxing scene. There's a lot of talk about 3 boxers in Britain at the minute. You're ranked number 1 in Britain, I believe. Matthew Macklin number 2, then Darren Barker number 3. It seems you and Darren Barker don't get on that much. Seen a lot of talk about that.
It's Macklin. I get on with Barker.
Oh yeah, you and Darren Barker.
Yeah,
you and Matthew Macklin don't get on, yeah.
Yeah.
So is that all for the cameras, or is that a real hatred between you and Matthew Macklin?
We obviously don't like each other. I don't know where it stemmed from. It's just one of them. You can't like everybody. He doesn't like me. I don't like him.
Well, I watched the ringside interview. He didn't come. He said he was in Africa. Or something like that.
Yeah, he's in Marbella.
Marbella?
Yeah, on business apparently.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's on ringside tonight actually, as it goes.
Is he?
Yeah, he's on ringside tonight. So
is he live on ringside, or is that live on telephone?
Not live, yeah, he showed up. I don't know, I think it's because Mel Barker was up there, I don't know, but yeah, he showed up. But yeah, there's 3 of us. I mean, there's some great middleweights in Britain now, but we're the top 3, and between us all there's some great fights there. Whether they happen or whether they don't, it's just the way it is. But yeah, between us all there's some great fights. But even looking past that, you know, some of the middleweights, the up and coming middleweights, there's some great fighters, and there's some great fights out there between us all.
Why do you think none of the top 3 middleweights in this country have fought each other? How come that's never happened?
I don't know. I mean, speaking like from my side and personally, I've pushed for both of them fights. Macklin knocked it back twice, and Barker knocked it back, but well, he's promoted it, but he was coming back off an injury, so that's completely understandable. But me and Barker spoke you know, the other week, and we're confident me and Barker will get it on. I think me and Barker want to be involved in big domestic fights, but they're not only big domestic fights, they're big, potentially world title fights.
Yeah, well, you're all three of you are on
Well,
world
there you
level.
go. Yeah, I mean, you could say all the domestic fights, but the domestic fights, but on a big stage. You know, it's different than having a domestic fight where it's a lot lower key. You know, this is potentially a massive fight, and you know, I want to be in big fights, full stop, regardless of who it's against. If it's against you know, someone local or someone from over there in a big fight, then that's you know, that makes it even better. But like I said, I just want to be involved in big fights and fighting whoever.
It does seem like a lot of our boxers, they do go like to America and things to like push the career more. Yeah. Even though the Americans say that we've got the best fans over here. Yeah. So why do the fights not seem to happen over here?
Which is true. We've got our support is unbelievable. The way we get behind our fighters, there's no one anywhere that does it better. But I think the fact that people go America is and other places like myself is that's where your chances are.
Yeah.
You've got to take them. I mean, ideally, we'd have loved to have fought Martinez over here.
Yeah.
That you know that would have been a lot better for us. But at the end of the day, the ball's in his court. He's the champion. Same with the majority of you know, people who are going over America now. They're fighting American champions who want to fight on their own soil. So I think that's why myself and a few other boxers have to travel.
Yeah, even some of the world champions that we've had though, they seem to go to America to defend.
Well, I mean,
and then come over here when they get beat.
Yeah, I mean, like speaking from Ricky Hatton, he's massive over here, and then then you know, you take it to America to that's where you take it to.
Is it just the money?
To the biggest level.
Money big over there?
It's massive money in America. So it's that's why, you know, that's where you want to end up in Vegas and places like that.
Right, so you left VIP Promotions. This is a Google piece of information because it's not. I didn't know which promotion company you come from. To join Ricky Hatton Promotions in 2009. What persuaded you to go to Ricky Hatton? How come you changed over to him? Is it just because it is appeal?
No, it wasn't so much Ricky Hatton. To be honest with you, VIP was who was promoted by, but it was also my manager. The fellow who ran that business was my manager, and we just had fallouts. He wasn't getting me the type of fights that I wanted. He wouldn't go and, when my contract was up, he wouldn't go and look to other promoters for me. He was just basically just trying to offer me one set of money with one promoter, and I just wanted to see what it was worth. And we ended up falling out, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me, because I then got me good friend to manage me, who's still managing me to this day, called Neil Marsh, and you know, he took me to the Hattons, and he's the one who's been speaking to these other promoters and things like that, and you know, they've been getting me these big fights. So the best thing you ever did.
Yeah, your career's changed since 2009. It's gone sky high now.
Yeah, and I mean, it all comes down to the work that myself and Oliver put in the gym. You know, we're in the gym every day, grafting and putting in the hard work. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a team thing, and I've got a great team behind me. And like I just mentioned, my manager then, but also, yeah, since I went with Ricky, they got me title fights. They got me some great learning fights. They got me the Stern fight, and now I've got this fight. So
yeah, it's a bigger team than I originally thought it was, because when you come in, I thought that you was training at the Ricky Hatton gym in Hyde, but you don't. You train with Oliver.
Yeah, we train Oliver Addison. Yeah, he's got his gym in Salford, and that's where I train every day. I mean, at promotions, they've got fighters up and down the country, so they're promoted by them, but they've got their own gyms in their own town or close by, and that's where they train.
Right, well, Hatton Academy, I did notice, we got an email from as well. You're doing a Box Academy session there on the 30th of this month. Can you tell us a little bit more about the Box Academy?
Yeah, I mean, I've never done it before. The Hatton Promotions approached me, and they've got a great gym and great facilities up there in Hyde. They've got a pro boxers, pro fighters fighting out of there with trainers, and yeah, like I said, they've got great facilities, and they approached me asking me would I be interested in going and doing this, train like a pro with them. which basically they, you know, tickets are available to the public to buy throughout promotions, and then they then come in and we go through a 3-hour routine on just speaking about anything really, and doing different training techniques in the training session and things like that. Yeah, so I mean, it's something I've never done before. I would have done it to a certain extent, but I've never been to this one thing what they've got planned. But it's something I'm really looking forward to.
Did Scott Quigg, I think, did the
yeah, Scott did one on the 2nd of March. Yeah, and I've not found out how that went, but Scott's a great lad and a great fighter, and I'm sure it went down well.
So this is for the general public. The general public can take part in the box workshop.
Yeah, they can. Anybody can come down and take part. They've just got to get in contact with At Promotions.
Which is I've got the address. It's attenacademy.com.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
and
if you just contact them and just explain to them that you want to be on the boxing class, then they'll just let you know all.
I think it's 60. Is it £60 plus VAT?
I think so. Yeah.
Not sure how long for, but the chance to train with someone like yourself. That's pretty cheap. Cause it's kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cheap. I wish I was getting that money. Like, it's not going in my pocket, but that's what they're charging for it. Yeah.
Right. Well, we're going to play one more song now. Probably only going to get one more in. Some Guns N' Roses, "Welcome to the Jungle," which is walking music for
Cal Frotch.
So we're going to.
Fancy Matrevsky's going to be a little bit more adventurous than he was in the opening round. Matrevsky switches, Jim. I think he's naturally a southpaw, but he switches also fairly naturally. Now let's see if Murray can sustain that body attack. But back comes Matrevsky. Good work from Murray, and the applause from the far side. Beautiful, beautiful, coming from his corner. Yeah, there was a classy look about that little burst. Okay.
The grey and red of the 32-year-old champion in fight number 40, Felix Sturm from Cologne, and the red and white of Martin Murray, with Archie, his son, on the front, Amelia, his daughter, on the back. Good pressure there from Murray. The tactics seem to be attack at times, defend at others.
Well, I think the important thing, and what I'm liking about Murray, he's answering everything that Sturm comes up with. He's not, he's not blocking, a burst of punches, then moving away. He's coming back with his own, so he's keeping everything tight. Keeping in mind, over here, history reminds us that tight doesn't normally go your way. So, tough job and a tough place to get a decision.
Coming next, we're going to talk about Sergio Martinez versus Martin Murray. It's going to be happening on the 27th of next month. Make sure you keep tuned. Listen to that. Sergio Martinez record stands at 54 fights, 50 wins. You might have closed your ears at this point. 2 losses and 2 draws. So, what's your thoughts going into the fight? What are you thinking about right now?
I'm under no illusions how tough this fight is. It's a massive fight, and it's a massive ask for me to go over there and beat him. But I won't be going over there if I didn't think I could win. And myself and my team and people who are around me who's close to me know how much this means to me, and know what I'm capable of, and we know that I can go over there and beat him.
Well, he's 7 years older. May just turned 8, did we say today?
Yeah, that's right.
37, so it could be the time when he's on his way down and you're at your peak now. 30.
Yeah, I mean, it could be, but from what I've heard, I don't think he started boxing it till he was 20.
22, wasn't it?
So if that's the case, I've been boxing longer than him. You know what I mean? so I wouldn't really go off that. But he's 38 now, and he's been in a lot of hard fights. So. They are saying you could be getting him at the right time, but I think he'll be fighting him at his best. I think he'll be in great condition for this fight, and he'll be wanting to put in a world class and top performance.
That'll be the excuses if you beat him. But Floyd Mayweather Senior tweeted recently, you've probably seen it. He put, "This dude from the UK who's fighting Martinez next, he's going to bring it. I'm telling you, this is not an easy one. Martin can fight." So what's your thoughts on that? That's
he knows what he's talking about, Floyd.
Yeah, Floyd Mayweather Senior.
Talks sense.
Right, we'll go quickly on. We're going to kind of finish up. We've got another minute and 22 seconds. Future plans? You win next month. What's next for you then?
Well, obviously there's a rematch in the contract, but a lifelong ambition for myself, and it would be a dream country. But I've always wanted to fight at St Helens, at the Saints ground. So I mean, that'd be a dream country. You know, if I could pick anything, then that's.
So
that's
if you beat him in this first one over in Argentina, the rematch clause is in. Is that? Do you pick where the rematch happens?
No.
No.
No,
They
so
still pick?
I'm just saying what it'd be a dream come true for me. But yeah, they'd still pick. Yeah, so I think they'd then pick America or somewhere like that. But I've got visa issues, you know, about getting in America. But we're just coming through that process now, so should be okay for the future.
So what you need to do is win this world title and then get yourself sorted with visa issues, so they take your passport off you, and the only place you can come and fight is here.
Yeah.
St Helens is
Yeah,
started.
hopefully.
So if you win this next fight, first world champion from St Helens, it's going to be massive. You're going to be pretty big. Yeah, just a little bit. Matthew Macklin, Darren Barker. Would you fight one of them? Give them a chance, maybe in St Helens. That could be the fight.
If the deal was right, I'd fight anybody.
Yeah, so that could be the big fight
Yeah.
in the Langtree Stadium. That could be the dream realised.
Yeah, if the deal was right, I'd fight anybody out there. It doesn't faze me, but everything's got to be right. There's loads of politics in boxing, and
Yeah.
you know everything's got to be right. So I'd fight anybody.
So the Matthew Macklin, the Darren Barker, it may never happen.
Well,
It could be like a Mayweather Pacquiao.
yeah, there you go. It may or may not, but yeah, hopefully, regardless of who it is, it's still going to be a big fight. You know, me fights after this one, and hopefully it's going to be a rematch with him. But if we beat him how we think we can, he won't want a rematch. We'll retire him. So that's the plan.
You can beat him twice. So the third match maybe in St Helens.
There you go.
We've never had nothing as big as that. We could have it at the Langtree Stadium.
Yeah.
Even when we have got world champions, it's always Manchester, Liverpool,
Yeah.
Sheffield.
There you go. Yeah. So I mean, if the plan goes right, and I can go over there and create a bit of history by becoming St Helens' first world champion, and then one day maybe fighting at Saints, then yeah, dream come true.
Well, we'd love to see it. It's been an absolute honour having you down. Really appreciate you coming down and supporting us.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll clear up the music issue. The last song wasn't Carl Frotch.
No, there's a bit of a mix-up, yeah. Carl Fox with Welcome to the Jungle, and
We're gonna finish off with that, just so he doesn't feel hard done by. Can we play somebody else's song? So the fight will be on Box Nation on April the 27th.
Box Nation, April 27th. Yeah, just asking people just to tune in and just show me as much support as they can, and hopefully be bringing it home to St Helens.
I'm pretty sure everybody around here is going to be tuning in. Hopefully getting our first world champion in St Helens. It's going to be fantastic. Cheers for coming down. We'll finish off with Guns N' Roses, Welcome to the Jungle. I'll let you say who walks down to this song.
Carl Fox.
Carl Frotch. Thanks for coming.